The Death of the Ball Turret Gunner by Randall Jarrell. From my mother's sleep I fell into the state, and I hunched in its belly till my wet fur froze. 6 miles from earth, loosed from its dream of life, I woke to black flak and the nightmare fighters. When I died, they washed me out of the turret with a hose. So, what do we do when we're confronted with a poem like this? First thing we want to try and do is to paraphrase the poem. Put it in your own words. What do you think this is about? Obviously, there's going to be some background to this poem that's going to make it easier to understand, but we'll talk about that later. Well, obviously, the speaker of the poem is no longer with us. He was washed out of the turret with a hose. So, the speaker is obviously not the poet. But who is the speaker? When trying to figure out poetry, another thing to try to rely on is the imagery. There are some certainly horrifying images that the poet puts in front of us here. What do those images evoke? How are they related to tone? How do they make you feel? Sometimes the setting of a poem is very important. We can't fully understand it unless we have context. There is a context to this poem.
The Air Force bombed Europe with B-24 Liberators and B-17 Flying Fortresses. Each plane was rugged and well suited for the job. Each required a crew of 10 men. On a B-17, 5 guys got the plane where it was supposed to go and do the job it was sent to do. A pilot, a co-pilot, a navigator, a radio operator, and a bombardier. They sat in the front of the plane. 5 more airmen protected the bomber on its perilous journey. A tail gunner, left and right waist gunners, a top turret gunner, and a ball turret gunner. The turret was permanently fixed to the bomber's belly. All of the crewmen were exposed to enemy machine gun fire and anti-aircraft artillery. But it was the ball turret gunner, particularly the man exposed beneath the B-17 with nowhere to hide, that bore the brunt of the enemy's fury. All of the ball turret gunners found their job frightening. Many found it exciting, and some found it suicidal.
So, what is the theme of the poem? What is the main idea? It goes way beyond some poor guy dying in a ball turret during World War II. What are we supposed to get out of it? How does it apply to our lives, to contemporary society, to universal themes? What is the main idea of this poem?